Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. As the teams that didn't make Masters Shanghai are locking down their rosters going into the final split and push of the entire season, Loud have once again revealed that problems are emerging in terms of making the roster change they want to make. It's pretty clear from their tweet announcement here that pANcada is on the agenda, but his visa situation is still, it seems, yet to be resolved. What does that mean for FNS and the NRG guys that are now back in business? Very much on Twitter, your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Here we go then, the new map. This is actually just as I revealed yesterday's video, I think, as I released it basically, they confirmed what the map name is going to be. We can't see much, can we? But usually the map name is, has something to do with what the map actually looks like. So we'll see. It's called Abyss, here we go, and we also get this teaser as well. Boostio says, I've seen the new map while doing content at Shanghai. I will leak it for 15k likes. Unfortunately, we're only at 9.2, so, 9.5 now. So I guess we'll see where it goes. But of course, on Sunday, that's when at the grand finals, they're going to play the show match, and then we're going to see what the map is actually like. I don't think the Boostio will be leaking it before then. I guess we shall see. There's also this kind of version as well, which is a bit of a teaser for the new map. So very interesting. It looks like potentially nighttime map, potentially rooftop map. I don't know. It would be interesting to see a nighttime map in the game. Of course, there are also more changes coming to the game as well. We believe that after the major, they're going to make, after Masters Shanghai, they're going to make quite significant changes to the game state itself. Duelist changes happening. Of course, potentially there's been rumors about what they're going to do to certain agents, to Jet and to others and stuff like this. So the rumor is that there are things happening and they're potentially going to discuss them on the Plat Chat show today. Before we get into the rest of the stuff though, this is pretty interesting. The Esports World Cup, if you guys haven't heard about this, big event happening over like 7 or 8 weeks in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in July to August. And the intention is to make this, I'm guessing, like a yearly massive event in the world of esports. Now, lots of organizations are going to this, and VALORANT is one of the few games that actually is not going to be there, certainly on this level. Now, sources tell the Esports Advocate yesterday that VALORANT will be part of this, or at least it would have been part of this, had there not been scheduling conflicts, which I think is kind of entertaining in the sense that VALORANT has like barely any events. Like, there aren't many events happening, there aren't that many matches happening this season, but yet still, even with all these other events, like, managing to make it work, they just couldn't find time to make VALORANT fit into this schedule. And whether you think that's a good or a bad thing, it's probably going to happen at some point, and many of the organizations involved in VALORANT are going to be here. And obviously, CS is here, Dota, Overwatch, Rainbow Six, Street Fighter. Basically, every single game is going to be here. Even Call of Duty is likely to be here in this to be announced section. So, yeah, we'll see how this trends. But, VALORANT is not here this year, but it may well be there next year, depending on the way that schedule actually works out. We'll see, I guess, what Riot Games decide to do, but it doesn't seem to be Riot saying, oh, no, we don't, we're not interested, because obviously League of Legends is going to be here in week 1. So, it's not about that. It's more about actually getting the scheduling there to work out. So, Masters Shanghai, 4 teams remaining. Boostio is on one of them in 100 Thieves. Munchkin is on another one on Gen.G. And, they've got a nice bit of back and forth over the last few days. There have been some more tournaments happening behind the scenes, not behind the scenes in the public domain, but there's less interest this year, I think, in Ascension than there was before. And it comes at an interesting time just because there are probably more interesting games this year. Like last year, it was always going to be between M80 and the Guards. The Guard ended up winning, they then became G2, and M80 are obviously still down here grinding out in Ascension, or Challenge as it technically is, before you get to Ascension if you do well enough in the playoffs that are happening in the next couple of months or so. This season, however, is very difficult to predict who's going to win Ascension. It's kind of all over the place, but I think that Riot haven't really helped it in some sense, because in many ways, because the way the Challenger circuit works, this massive break in the off-season, all this stuff, many organizations have pulled out, right? They're not even interested in playing anymore and funding a team because they don't really see the benefit. They'd prefer to just kind of wait until a team qualifies and then sign them then. But it does mean that, not having FaZe, obviously DSG are now gone. Like, it means that people aren't just maybe as interested as they would otherwise be. Because Turtle Troop, they're not a signed team. Moist Shopify, sure they are, but they might not be good enough, right? And this is really interesting, right? There's been lots of talk about, certainly Odorous as a player, even like Flyer to some extent. But look, they lose the series 2-0 to Turtle Troop, a really close one. Game 1, they bottled a 9-3 lead here on the Binds. They lose the second half 10-2 to lose. And then Sunset, again, they had a massive lead 8-4, and they lose it, right? So tough couple of games there for Moist Shopify. Turtle Troop take the victories. And this is how things look here in the regular season on this final run into promotion relegation in July. And then the playoffs happen at the end of July in the Americas to determine which teams get to continue in challenges next year, and actually which teams qualify for Ascension, which then is played between all the respective regions as it was last year in Brazil. And then of course the Guard ended up winning. But obviously you've got Turtle Troop, you've got M80 down here. They're currently 0-1 after losing their first game to Oxygen the other week. Oxygen looking good. Like, it's really all to play for here, but I guess there's a lot of other Valorant going on around the world right now, and also there are not quite as many organizations, at least big organizations, involved as there were previously in the top side of challenges, but thought I'd give you guys the update regardless. Now, I wanted to share one more interesting roster piece before we get onto this pANcada stuff. Som is back in LA. The NRG boys are getting ready to go for the new season. Here they are, first media day back with the boys. Like, if this iteration doesn't work, I don't even know what you do next, but the fact that Demon 1 is gone, the fact that Marv is gone, here's Chet the coach, Crashies, Ethan, Food, okay, Victor, I don't know why I called him Food, that was his old school gamer tag, and then of course Som and FNS officially back on the team. But these guys may well be fearing this announcement right here. So these boys obviously lost to Bilibili last year when FNS and Som were on the team. Bilibili Gaming knocked them out very famously. So now they have made a roster change. Neff is coming in. Now, formerly of Bleeds, right? And now he's on Bilibili Gaming, and he's a Singaporean player. Now, I'm a little bit confused by this whole Singaporean stuff, because we know that Jing was mandated to do military service, and then he doesn't have to because of some medical condition. Now, I think Neff had to do the same thing, possibly, but no, it seems like he's going to be okay to join. So I'm not really sure whether they're able to actually, these Valorant teams get exemptions now, just because it's so difficult to get exemptions, especially in Singapore. In South Korea, I think it's more possible, but in Singapore, it seems, at least like from the research that I've looked at and done, very challenging to get these exemptions from, mandatory service. But it seems like Neff has been able to pull it off. So this could be a really interesting deal. If Bilibili somehow make a run to the World Championship, if they do, it would be spectacular. I guess time will tell. Hopefully they play NRG there. Could you imagine the storylines if NRG play Bilibili again at this year's World Championship? But we've got to talk about this tweet here from Loud. So the rumours has been now for the last few days, pANcada is joining Loud, it's a matter of time. And this is what they say in their announcement. Now, it is, there is a 0.001% chance that what you're seeing at the first letters of each of these respective, sentences is a completely random occurrence. It's obviously not, but, and especially the way that it is done, because, this P here is deliberately placed to say, guys, let's go. It probably doesn't need to be said, but it's put there regardless to make sure there's a P as the first letter, so this spells out pANcada right on the left-hand side, which, it's pretty clear what's happening, I think, here at this point. But the problem is for Loud, they are suffering with immigration, visa-related problems. It wasn't long ago pANcada was in the US. But it seems like these esports players right now, even in many domains, are struggling with their US visas, and obviously that's a problem for multiple teams, and especially the Brazilian guys. It seems a real challenge for them. Like, every few months they've got to renew. The US is obviously not so hot on that stuff. It's very difficult to get into their country at the best of times. So Loud say, guys, let's go. On our side, everything is ready for this announcement to happen. It hasn't happened yet for reasons of immigration and things like that prevent our movement for now. We spend no effort here to bring this as soon as possible and bring you the Loud Valorant champion that you know. So, yeah, wonder who it could be, right? Each day of training matters a lot. We have already adapted so that training doesn't stop and we can debut in the best possible scenario. And, pANcada on the left-hand side. So, yeah, they're bringing in pANcada. They talk about it as the Valorant champion. They are still practicing as a team. Like, they're able to practice, I guess, remotely. But they play in 2 weeks and 4 days. They play Evil Geniuses. That is their next game. They need to ensure that pANcada's there in time for that, because they can practice with pANcada remotely. The practice might not be as good. Of course, Quick is gone. They're moving some things around. Les is going to say, it seems like Toys and Kawanzan are going to say, of course, and Sadak isn't going anywhere for now, although there have been some speculations. But Quick, of course, you know, QCK, he got benched and, you know, inactive basically from the roster. We're pretty sure they're bringing in pANcada, but the issue is for them is that they play relatively soon, and this visa stuff is not yet resolved, and it wasn't resolved when we first talked about it probably a week or so ago. So let's say it's another week to get it resolved, maybe even more. It's not an ideal scenario right now for Loud, certainly because they need a big bounce back if they want to be confident in making it to the World Championship. So very much on Twitter your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
G2 versus 100 Thieves in the grand finals, calling an L. I think it's gonna be I think it'll be G2 Gen.G in the finals. I think 100 Thieves will get top 3 though. Jordan, I roasted you in a content video, but just know I love you, and I better see you at Veto's, not John QT. I want you. Well, you're gonna get neither of us. I haven't done Veto since C9, and I hate my life.
Yo, dash to the left.
I honestly, I feel like I was a better player in person when I was a drunk and alphaing everyone at Veto's. Pooch, Pooch. By the way, it better be a funny content video. Otherwise, I swear to God, I'm coming for your ass. I'm just going in on you the whole time. Okay. What? Imagine he's just yelling breach ult over and over and over again. Whatever. I'm literally unmatched. And Pooj has to accept that. Pooj has to accept that him and I have the same Masters win. Yeah. And I bench FNS, I can snap him in half like it's
let's take it market, bro.
Hey, Ut! What?
Yeah.
What's your born?
What?
Born?
2006.
Fucking baby. Shit. You have to call me uncle, you know? Shit, man.
Hold on. Drop. I smoke.